Students from West Genesee High School will return to Florida to try and duplicate the sensational job of this outfit. They'll once again be marching to beat the bands from other states. Once again, they'll carry New York State's banner. It's an honor we all share, so we have to help them on their way. And in the next hour, we'll be telling you how you can do your part. You too can be a champion. Hi everybody, I'm Joe Santilli, and tonight we're going to be raising some money for the West Genesee Wildcat Band. We want to send them to Florida so they can bring back the national championship to New York State. And with me tonight to help us do that are various guests from the West Genesee High School Band and associated with it. Right now I have with me is Bruce Burnett and Jeff Renshaw, both co-directors of the West Genesee High School Band. Bruce, what are we trying to do tonight? I think we should explain that to everybody at home right now.
First and foremost, raise $18,000, if it's at all possible to do that. We are have at this point paid all of our transportation expenses for the trip, all of our airplane fees, all of our bus fees. When we get there, our trip to Disney World is paid for, and we've got about 1/3 of the hotel bill paid at this particular point. And we want to pay for the rest of the beds before we go down there and start sleeping in them, I hope.
Right. Jeff, why is there so much enthusiasm for the West Genesee Wildcat Band? Not being from this area, it was amazing to me to see the enthusiasm behind the support of this band. Why is it there?
We have a terrific bunch of kids, which are backed up by a terrific bunch of parents. And I think a lot of our enthusiasm comes through our parents' organization and the school administration as well.
But we want to reach out to more than just the parents at West Genesee High School and parents, I guess, of children in all high schools in Central New York, or not even high school students, I guess. We want you to try, if you can, to call 672-3111. That's a phone number that has been set up. If you'd like to contribute some money to help sending these great kids, so to say, down to Florida to bring back a national championship, please do. They need your help, and it's going to be a great time for them. And we know, I guess, you guys will vouch for them. They're good enough to win the championship again. What is the quality that it takes to win a championship like that?
A lot of different qualities. It takes so much effort on the part of so many people, and the excitement that is generated from that cooperation and that common effort towards one common goal is just a marvel to behold sometimes. Right now we've got a bunch of 200 kids that are working so hard to achieve some real high goals and some real high standards, and they're doing a super job at this particular point. We're very excited. But what has really excited us beyond that has been the support of our parents, who have already raised some $60,000 in helping us to make our trip possible. Our kids are asked to do a lot of things for us. First of all, giving enormously of their time for us, above and beyond the school day we're talking about. We ask them to do the best possible job they can in every musical way possible. We ask them to work unselfishly with each other. We ask them to accept all kinds of discipline from every point of view that you can imagine. Standing silently for 5, 10, 15 minutes in a rehearsal while we work with maybe 15 kids, the rest of them must be quiet. Making them come to Pine Grove Tennis Club in Camillus from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m., which is the only time we can get the place to work in and practice, because we've got to work indoors because it's too cold to work outdoors. And during winter vacation, when everybody else who is a high school student is sleeping in bed, these kids are up from 6:30 until 9:45 a.m., again, practicing at Pine Grove Tennis Club. It's just, you have to pay a price for excellence, and we try to teach the kids that. And I guess what's exciting right now to us is that we see a bunch of kids who understand that. They realize what has to be done, they know what they have to give of themselves, and they're hungry. We see that.
Jeff, besides the playing of an instrument, I would imagine a lot of it, as Bruce has pointed out, it takes a lot of work. What other kind of things do you demand of the kids to be in the band and to be so good?
Well, along with our instrumentalists, we have what we call front groups, which would be our banner line, our rifles, and our majorettes. And those kids spend almost 12 months a year working on their particular aspect of the program. We run a complete winter color guard program which competes, and our majorettes work all winter long as well. competing.
It takes a lot of their time, I think.
An immense amount, an immense amount. And they really have to be organized in order to survive and get all their homework done. And a lot of our kids have jobs as well.
Well, that's why we want you, if you can, to call the number. It's up on the screen. It's 672-3111. And you'll be doing your part in sending these kids down to Florida. And I guess they're going to have a good time when they go, but they're going to try and bring back something to Central New York, put Central New York on the map in another way. We have so many things that are very positive in Central New York, and this is another one of them. They are good. I've seen them in parades. I've covered parades and seen these kids do what they do, and they're really, really good. And it's the competition. If you could explain the competition to us down in Florida, what does that entail?
The St. Petersburg Festival of States is a national band competition, one of many, frankly, but seems to be at this particular point the most prestigious of all. It involves only one band per state, and not all the states are able to send a band because of the cost that's involved, which is what we're running up against a little bit this year too. So we will probably be competing against 14 to 15 other bands, most of which are east of the Mississippi River. And we will, in that one per state competition, we will be up against some of the finest organizations that there are.
Well, what we'd like to do right now is to show you the West Genesee Wildcat Band in action at Rich Stadium in Buffalo, where they have performed a few times. Let's take a look at that if we could. A lot of coordination, as you can see, and obviously a lot of hard work went into that. What we'd like to do now is to explain to you, if we could, how you too, if you would, can help us out. We'd like you to dial 672-3111. That's the phone number you can call right now. Students and volunteers are standing by at West Genesee High School to take your pledge and your donation, if you will. Or if you can't make a phone call, you live out of the area, you can do this. You can mail in your donation to the West Genesee Music Department at West Genesee Senior High School in Camillus, New York, 13031. And also out at the high school right now, some of the students are standing by at a fishbowl. If you'd like to come by and drop in your donation in person, I'm sure they'd like to see you, but they'd also like to hear from you on the phone. And in the next couple of days, get your donation in the mail. And again, it is going for a very nice thing to send these kids down to St. Petersburg, because they are very good, and believe me, I think they can bring back a national championship to Central New York. Another thing I'd like to ask you about, and something I'm not sure that people really know about. Now, we did touch upon it, the discipline that's involved in the putting together of a performance. How much work does go into putting together a performance on a football field, for instance?
It really depends on the level of sophistication that you want to ultimately achieve. But in our particular situation, which is a pretty high level of sophistication, we have to plan extensively for it. Our staff of 15 people begins the previous winter for a fall campaign to talk about the numbers that we're going to select, musical numbers that we're going to select, and then the drill patterns that we're going to try to incorporate with that particular music that we choose. And so we spend a great deal of time trying Plan A and then Plan B and Plan C and coming up with the best of all three plans and putting that together with input from all of our people, hopefully. And then we select our students in May and June for the following fall's band. And at that particular time, we give them a schedule of when the rehearsals are, and we begin practicing with them 2 nights a week in the summertime during the month of July, for about 3 hours each night. And about midway through August, we begin to increase that time. And then at the end of August, we have a 2-week band camp. Band camp is a glorified name for a lot of hard work.
Right.
It occurs right at Camillus Plaza, right next to the high school. And we are there mornings and evenings, literally 5 days a week, and work with the kids during those 2 weeks.
Jeff, if you would, there's a lot more to a band than just the kids that play the instruments. Obviously, that's the most important part, I would guess. I don't know that much about bands. But the majorettes and the color guard are also a very, very important factor in putting on the show and their part in it. How much work goes into that?
I think if you talk to a majorette or color guard member, they'd surely answer that it was an equal amount. And I think in many ways it is. Our instrumentalists are all required to be in our normal day school program. That would be involved in orchestra or one of our 3 bands, and in the extracurricular music activities like jazz lab, rock ensemble, etc. A color guard member, for that matter, does not have that particular requirement, but as I explained earlier, they do go 12 months a year with competitions in the winter as well as in the summer.
What kind of work does a majorette have to do, a member of the color guard? How do they prepare for a competition?
If you're talking about marching band, it would be the same way as an instrumentalist. Whereas an instrumentalist marches and plays music, a color guard member marches and instead of playing music must perform a routine with a banner or a rifle or a baton. And I think that takes an equal amount of preparation.
How about recruiting kids? It seems you have a tradition at West Genesee High School. It's almost unmatched. How do you get kids to come out?
We begin with our instrumental program in 5th grade. And frankly, over the past 7 or 8 years, the reputation of the band at the high school has been so strong that it hasn't been too difficult to attract students to want to begin playing with us in 5th grade. And we have an excellent staff of elementary and junior high school teachers that work with these kids through elementary school, through grade 9, until they get to us in grade 10 at the senior high school. And that's kind of like our farm system, if you want to call it that, sports-wise anyways. In terms of color guard or majorettes, we begin working with those kids in a scheduled, structured program, even though it's extracurricular in nature and meets after school day is over with. In junior high school. We meet with them at least once a week. They do some performances as junior high students, and they march in some parades with junior high school marching band, and then they come up to us in the senior high school.
So you have a farm system?
Sort of.
Sort of. That's great. We want to take a look now at the tote board. Some of the folks in Central New York are hearing the message, and we've already raised $255, but you can see we have to get up to $18,000 to send these kids down to Florida. And again, it's for a good cause. We're going to bring back a championship to Central New York. I know these kids are good, and I guess you guys feel the same way too.
I'd say that.
You're confident?
Absolutely.
You know, we've been talking about the majorettes and the color guard. I think we can now take a look at a short segment on their job in the band and how they go about it and their performance. That was the Winter Competitive Color Guard, and as you can see, they are quite good. We do have some donations already coming in from West Genesee High School. Some of the kids over there are phoning into us, and we'd like to announce a few of them. National Campers and Hikers from Skinny Atlas, $350. Thank you very much. Ron Brooks, $100. Thank you very much. And Needle and Haystack, $35, and that's in North Syracuse. So some of the folks in Central New York are listening to our call and donating. We'd like you to do the same. The number to call is 672-3111. With me now is a parent of a past, well, you've had children in the band, you have one in now, and I understand you have one in the farm system. Dick Chapman, a parent. Dick, what's it like to be a parent of a West Genesee band member?
It's a very busy activity, Joe, and it's also a very exciting and very rewarding thing to be a band parent.
Why is that?
Because of the feedback you get from this entire adventure, the excitement that it generates is uncanny.
You know, it would seem to me that kids on the football team or the baseball team or one of the competitive teams would be the big deals in school, but it's a band in West Genesee. Why? You're the parent of a band member. Why is that electricity there?
Well, it's the excitement, I think, that's generated by the entire music program, by the staff, the tremendous dedication and hard work that's put forth to bring off the events that these people are involved in.
As a parent, how much of an involvement is it? Besides just with your child that's in the band, how much of an involvement is it for you? What do you do? How is a parent involved?
Well, parents are involved, of course, in fundraising events a great deal. We spend a large part of the year arranging for and planning and trying to pull off fundraising events. We try to help the kids in whatever way we can and follow them around and go where they go, as we're going to do in Florida.
As you say, follow them around. It takes a lot of your time, I would imagine.
Oh, yes, yes, but it's well worth it.
Now, you mentioned fundraising events, and I guess the Color Guard event is one way of bringing that out. What other events do you take part in throughout the year?
Well, we've had many events this year, for example, Joe. We've had a chicken barbecue and auction. We had a giant garage sale out at the New York State Fairgrounds. Annually, we have a citrus fruit sale, which involves all the members in the music department. It was a very successful sale this year. Mm-hmm. We have a memories dance at Shove Park in Camillus every year. We have numerous events, and we have things like an ad program book, which is going to be sold at a show that's being presented at Manley Fieldhouse this weekend.
All an effort to keep them going. I understand now we have a new tote board total since the pledges are coming in. Let's take a look at that. And we're over the $1,000 mark already. $1,210 raised so far. And again, we do have to get up to the $18,000 mark to get these kids off to Florida. And I might remind you once again, 672-3111. You can call in. The kids and parents are out at the high school answering the phones. And if you want to, you can mail in a donation, and that is to the West Genesee Music Department at West Genesee Senior High School in Camillus. There's the address right there. We'll go over it once again. West Genesee Music Department, West Genesee Senior High School, Camillus, New York, 13031. And there is a fishbowl also out at West Genesee High School with members of the band and students, and I would imagine some of the parents out there right now. If you want to drop by and of course come back and watch the rest of the show and drop in some money, they would greatly appreciate it. And you are going to Florida. If I'm sure they're going to go. I'm sure they are.
Oh yes, we know for a fact, Joe, that there will be at least 700 people who will follow the band to Florida to cheer them on and support them.
One question that comes to my mind: what are the trials and tribulations of a parent and of a band member? Now, you've had one in the band, a son, and another son in the band now, and as we know, one in the farm system. But what are the trials and tribulations?
Many, I guess. Really, it's a not a very trying thing for a parent. It's an exciting thing. It's a way of becoming very involved with your children, and I think good in that regard. it really holds your family pretty close together, and we kind of like that.
And I would imagine it works.
It sure does.
Okay. We also want to highlight another factor of the West Genesee High School music department, the obvious, the band, and how good they are. We have a little piece that we'd like to show you on the chamber orchestra. A lot of work goes into that, and a lot of musical talent, and we'd like to show you that now. Very nicely done, and as you can see, there's much more to a music department in a high school than a marching band. That obviously takes a lot of work also. What we'd like to do now is read some more of the pledges, but number one is we'd like you to know that WTVH-5 has donated this hour. It's worth $5,000, believe it or not, and it's something we've done so the school doesn't have to pay for it. It's our contribution, and on top of that, we've donated $1,000, and of course that's a $6,000 donation. We're proud of it because we'd like to send these kids off. And many more of you in Central New York are doing the same thing. I can read off a few of them, but I would like you to know that it takes some time to get the phones answered over at the school. So if you're phoning in and you don't get a busy signal and it's ringing, stay with them. They'll get to you. Some of the pledges: Mike and Nate's Arco, $50. That's very nice. B.J. Parkhurst, $10. Mr. and Mrs. Suter, $10. Robert Colas, $10. Camillus Republican Club, $100. It's very nice. Steve, Jacqueline, Gordon Spooner, and wives. That's very nice. Keep it in the family, $10. The Boyle family, $25. Very good. Vanessa Johnson, $10. Thank you very much. Emerson Schulet, I believe it is, $20. Joe Enright, $25. Another Joe, I like that. George Liberet, I believe it is, $25. Mary Markle, $25. Eastwood Bicycles, $50. You guys are on the way. John Preston, $35. James and Mary Dixon, $10. Mrs. Albert Hinsdale, $35. And I read you that one, so I won't read it again. Let's go to the tote board. We've got a lot of donations here. Let's see how much we've done. $2,021. I like that. That's very nice, but we need $18,000. And again, you can call the number at 672-3111. The kids are out there. The parents are out there. They care. They're taking a lot of their time right now to sit out there and hope that you call, and you are calling. Our tote board just told us that. Bruce is back with me now, and that little segment we just saw with the chamber music, it's, I guess, a segment that maybe the public doesn't see. We see the Wildcat band in a lot of parades and in competition, but That's a segment of the music department I'm sure is not seen as much. How much work goes into that?
Probably as much, if not more. That, frankly, is one of the disadvantages that our string faculty and our voice faculty who run our choruses runs up against, and that is competing with the visibility and the reputation of the marching band, which is so much more public than is the string program or the chorus program. We give the chorus program as much of a support as we possibly can, and the string program, as a matter of fact, we encourage our string players to start a full year ahead of the band people, so they get a leg up, if you will, on the band program recruitment system. It's very important in our philosophy at West Genesee that a student who is as gifted in violin as another student might be on clarinet has the same opportunity to do what he loves to do, and not just to focus everything towards band instruments and band activity. We feel it's very important that kids have an opportunity to participate in different parts of the music program as much as they'd like to, and to enjoy different kinds of music, different levels of music, and a lot of different variety.
I would imagine this activity would take a lot of out-of-school time also.
Always does. In every case, it always does. There's no question about that.
Do you find a crossover of some of the band members getting into these other musical activities?
Particularly in high school, we are aware of kids who want to play in orchestra and sing in chorus, play in band and sing in chorus, and those combinations of things are very obvious. I think when our students see us working with each other, voice teachers working with band teachers and band teachers working with orchestra teachers, that they see that we respect each other's goals and desires and objectives, and they try to cooperate with each other also on a student level as much as possible. And the cross-discipline activity is very frequent, and there's a lot of respect between groups.
You know, as we've been talking, I've been handed some more donations, and I think we should read them to them because you're nice enough to call. We want to give you the opportunity to be a star for a couple of seconds. Ed and Liz Perry, $30. Robert Howell, $50. Mr. and Mrs. Roland Pond, $100. It's a lot of money, and these folks are doing a very nice thing. R. Reese, $25. Robert Kehoe, $25. And Fred Floor, $25. And I'm sure seeing these Central New Yorkers chip in must be a very gratifying.
It's very, very reinforcing and very rewarding feeling. It certainly is.
A lot of folks are watching the program right now and they're calling in, but what about the people who are sitting there right now watching and going, well, why should I? Why should they?
I guess perhaps maybe we could talk about it in terms of a vote of confidence in today's youth. And I have taught at West Genesee since 1964, and I have never ever had any doubt about the basic desire of youth, young women and young men, to want to excel, to want to achieve superior standards, to want to be outstanding at whatever they do. That has never, ever changed as I see it. And no matter what kind of problems that you might hear about and I might hear about in terms of drugs or alcohol or the like, and whatever might come down the road next in terms of a serious teenage problem, we still see that above and beyond all of those kinds of difficulties that occur, kids want to be outstanding. And they want to participate in something that is meaningful and gives them a challenge, that gives them an opportunity to grow, to perhaps suffer some severe disappointments, some agony, some very frustrating moments, but hopefully in the end will give them some outstanding experiences and some things that they'll remember the rest of their life. And if we can think about reinforcing kids and reinforcing programs that matter to kids, that make a great deal of difference to them, this is a wonderful opportunity for people to do that, no matter where they live or what they do.
What about graduates of the band?
Well, you've read off about 18 names already of people who rang a bell, who have been in the band. One guy must be very rich. He phoned in $100. I'm amazed.
He must have been proud to be a West Genesee Wild.
I'm glad he was, I'll tell you that.
Our next segment, I think it might be a good time to get into it. And while we're talking about it, 672-3111. Don't forget that number. It's on your screen right now. Call it. There's people waiting to hear from you, and believe me, it's going to be worth it because these kids could bring back a championship to Central New York. But you have a jazz lab. Before we get into it, if you could just explain that to everyone at home.
Jazz Lab is an outgrowth of the big band era. And it is, in essence, a group of kids who enjoy the field of jazz, which we treat as an extracurricular activity outside the school day. And they study improvisation, in other words, just playing by ear. They study the styles and the various challenges that the field of jazz all by itself sets up to kids. It's a whole different vein of music than they play in their orchestra experience or their concert band experience or in marching band. Again, it's another avenue for them to look at, to gain experience with and get some enjoyment and pleasure out of. And it's directed by the same gentleman that directs the orchestra that you just saw on the television just now. His name is John Whitney.
Well, let's let John and his charges shine again with the Jazz Lab. And I know I enjoy jazz, and I'm sure a lot of you do. Let's take a look at it. Marching to beat the bands. We're trying to send the West Genesee Wildcat Band to St. Petersburg, Florida, and we'd like to have some of your help. That was an enjoyable segment, the jazz segment, one of my favorite listening habits. We want you to remember 672-3111. That's the number you can call out at the West Genesee High School building. The kids are out there, the parents are out there, and they're listening for your phone calls, and we want you to give them a call. You can also send in a donation if you'd like, and the address is now on your screen. It's West Genesee Music Department, West Genesee Senior High School, Camillus, New York, 13031. And don't forget, your donation is tax deductible, okay? And we have some more donations. A name that I'm, tote board, okay, $3,000, there we are, but we still have to get up to $18,000, and we'd like your help. $3,000 so far, $18,000 the goals. Some donations coming in. Vicky Fleckenstein, I'm sure you know that name. She was on the Olympic ski team. Vicky, thank you very much, $35. Sylvia Fenn, $25. Carol Soft Ice Cream, I'll get it, $25. Janice Snyder, $25. Keish, $25. That name sounds familiar. Walt Dykes, $30. J.C. Penney in Shoppingtown, $50. Thank you. That's very nice. Vern Stevens, $25. Stephen Case, $5. Mrs. Ella Thorpe, $20. Father Sesta, I know Father Sesta, $15, and he wishes West Genesee good luck. It's out your way. Gladys Van Motter, $25. Sam Rayo, $25. Robert Kelly, $25. And Mike Foodie, $50. 672-3111. And Jeff is back with me once again. And Jeff, that jazz lab was very, very interesting. How does that work, if you might go over that for us again?
Well, I think Bruce hit on that slightly just before you segued into it. That's one of our extracurricular groups. It tends to be one of our most popular. Mm-hmm. It has a counterpart to it, which we call the rock ensemble, which is the basis of the jazz lab. It has a rhythm section and some instrumentalists, as well as a singing group. Our rock ensemble this year has 12 singers with it, mm-hmm. and that's directed by John Armstrong, who's our vocal director at the high school.
And I would imagine that even though it's an extracurricular activity, a lot of work goes into that.
Oh, yes. They rehearse essentially 3 times a week. Mm-hmm. They rehearse together one night, and then they rehearse the vocals one afternoon and the instrumentalists one afternoon.
How do these, the jazz lab, the rock thing, the woodwind, which we'll be seeing in a few minutes, how do these develop? What are the outgrowths from?
Well, various and sundry elements of music. The jazz lab is an outgrowth of the big band era, mm-hmm. in the 30s. The rock ensemble is a takeoff on maybe the 60s, when the big singing group started to mm-hmm. happen. The woodwind ensemble, which we're about to see shortly, is really one of the oldest forms of music communication.
And how many high school kids can get involved in, let's say, the jazz ensemble and woodwind? How many are involved in each group?
I think our jazz lab is 25 members. Our rock ensemble is around 22 at the moment. Those are all auditioned. In other words, we will post auditions just like we do for marching band. And if a kid has the interest, he'll sign up and go through the audition process.
You know, one thing that I'm curious about is you mentioned a farm system, so to say, bringing up kids from their younger days into their high school days and onto the band. What spurs an interest in music in a child, let's say in 4th, 5th grade? What spurs that interest, do you think?
That's a good question. I think it depends on what experiences the child has been through. There are a number of kids who are spurred on, of course, by seeing the marching band and seeing that aspect of it. I think there are an equal number of kids who have been taken to Syracuse Symphony concerts or seen jazz labs perform or concert bands perform. I think exposure and seeing music performed live is probably one of the best ways to increase interest in performing music.
You know, but we do have another segment to get to in just a couple of minutes, but we'd like to let you know that the phones that you're calling in on 672-3111 are being supplied by GTE Sylvania Corporation in Camillus. That's their part, the part they're doing in helping these kids out, and the West Genesee Music Department sending these kids, getting them down to Florida so they can bring back the national championship. And I've also been handed a few more donations, and I think it's about time we get some more out. Noreen Saros, $10. Excuse me if I don't get your name right, but we want to try and get it. And Bob Carlin, $20. Mary Irwin, $20. Bill Keegan, $25. He's with the Auburn Marching Band, so you're getting some support from some of your colleagues. Warren Lippa, $500. I like that. That's very nice. Barb K, $50. Mrs. G.N. Corburn, $10. I'm sorry. Ralph Bellinger, $10. W.J. Curtis, $25, and he's from Naples, New York. The Jordan Elbridge Band members, $10. Some more cohorts. Don Cole, $10. Rose Luca, $10. Pete's Polar Parlor. Okay, Pete's Polar Parlor, $100. And Pat McNamara of the Cicero Band, a member of the Cicero Band, $5. We'd like to, if we can, show you the tote board, I guess. It's up to $4,173. Our goal is $18,000. We'd like to get these kids off to Florida, down to St. Petersburg, and give them the chance to bring us back the national championship. They did it in 1976. There's no doubt in my mind, and I'm sure in many of the band members' minds that they can do it in 1980. Another segment we'd like to show you is the Woodwind Ensemble, and that should be interesting. Let's take a look at it right now. (672-3111) is the number to call. Please help us out. With me now is Jack Deli, and Jack is the program coordinator. And Jack, you plan a lot of the rehearsals. What goes into planning rehearsals?
Well, basically, my job is to try to take an immense amount of talent in our writing people. Nick Barata, who arranges music, and Doug Way, who arranges drill patterns. And then I get together with the other 15 staff members, and we plan out every minute of our rehearsals as to how we will spend the rehearsal, how much time will we spend on any one segment. So we all work toward one common goal. That's the basic idea.
How much planning goes into a rehearsal? I would imagine it takes a lot of the kids' time, a lot of your time, but what kind of planning goes into it?
Well, basically what I try to do is make sure that all of us can get together. I would guess that we plan as long as we rehearse. In other words, for every hour of rehearsal, there's an hour of planning, and that it has to be given up by all of the staff members.
What does a rehearsal look like? Is it disorganized for a time being? And
Never, not ours. Never a moment unorganized. It might look at it from the outside, though. But every instructor has a specific job every minute of the rehearsal. We work in separate segments, and then later, toward the end of rehearsal, we all come together. At that point, I'm sure it looks like it's organized.
What is, I guess we can take a look at a rehearsal while we talk about it, and I guess if you look at the monitor, you can see, now, as we're going along, I guess you can explain what's going on. Obviously, practicing some music as we pan off now.
Right, okay. As we come through any part of, like this rehearsal was in Pine Grove tennis courts, and we'll work on one portion of a segment. This is our opening number. We'll run through a rehearsal like this, looking at a particular idea. Every instructor is in charge of a particular section of the band, and we will run a segment, maybe a minute's worth of program. We'll stop, take 3 minutes to discuss that particular segment with your kids. Then we go back and run it again.
If it's not done right, we do it again.
We do it again and again and again.
It's worked.
I think so. I've been working here for 12 years, and it's immensely enjoyable.
You refine techniques, I would imagine, every practice session.
Exactly. The techniques involved, as you can see, every segment has a different problem to worry about every part of the show. So we have to make sure that during the course of our rehearsals we cover every possible thing that could affect the student during a performance.
How hard do these kids work in practice?
They work very hard. They have to. We demand of ourselves work as adults. And I think one of the most rewarding things for me is to see 12 or 15 adults working very hard and looking around and see 200 kids working harder. That motivates us greatly.
And how long does a practice session usually take? How many hours are spent on the practice floor? And as you can see on a tennis court, I guess you take what you can get in practice.
Right. We usually look at a 3-hour practice time. We can push very hard for 3 hours. After that, we would take a break, and on a 2-day rehearsal day, we'll take a 3-hour rehearsal, take an hour break, and go again.
There's a lot to it, a musical background, and you got to know where you're walking.
Right. Tremendous amount of coordination is involved, obviously.
We'd like to read on a few more of the pledges, if we might. The Fairmount Fire Department, $300. That's out your way, out towards Camillus. Michael Byrne, he's 5 years old, and it's out of his allowance. Mike, that's really, really nice. $10. When they take it out of their allowance, they've got a lot of confidence in you. We know they're going to win the championship now. Camillus Avon Products, $50. Mr. and Mrs. Ken Williams, $50. Mrs. Claude Case, $25. It's in memory of Claude Case, the first music teacher at West Genesee. That's a nice, I like that. Karen McManus to $125. I've just been handed. Mike and Nate's Arco of Camillus will donate 2 cents on every gallon of gas sold Monday and Tuesday to the band. Well, we know we're going to go get our gas. The phone number is 672-3111. Why should people donate? Tell us quickly.
Just to say this, these kids work so hard, and the thrill that I remember when we came back in '76, and the thrill I felt in the community, the pride that I felt, is a feeling that I've never felt in Syracuse before outside of Orange basketball.
Ah, you're a basketball fan.
Yes, you better believe it.
But we have another way of bringing notoriety to Central New York, and that's through the West Genesee High School Band. And if we can, Kevin, I don't know if you're all set up for it, but can we take a look at the tote board? And it's 672-3111. You can mail in your donation. We're over $5,000 now. It's $5,183. We've got about 7 minutes left to go. We'd like to get $18,000. The phones will be manned after the show's over. The fishbowl will be manned after the show's over. And let's go back to the practice footage again, and maybe we can, if you could explain some of the movements that the kids are going through. And what are they doing here?
Okay, this is our what we call our concert formation. The musicians during this particular musical number do not move. But you see the majorettes in the middle, which perform a combination of choreographics and equipment work. And we don't see it here, but in the back of the band, the color guard's doing the same thing. And there you can see Doug Way, one of our instructors, conversing. Always a little problem.
The West Genesee JCs are now with us, and if you gentlemen could introduce yourselves and also explain your involvement with the band.
Okay. My name is Mike Schlolken. I'm the Community Action Vice President. Our involvement basically with the band is the program that I hold in my hand. The donation was given by our organization, okay, for the brochure, which will be going to Florida with the band. We are involved with a lot of activities within the area. We have a music scholarship each and every year for the West Genesee band, so forth. And I guess our concern is that we are concerned with quality. Quality within our organization, quality within our own school systems. And certainly the West Genesee band I think exemplifies the quality that we are looking for with our youth of today.
Paul Wolf, of
That's true.
You have a announcement, so to say, to make on something that's happening tomorrow
I certainly do. As a thank you to all you wonderful people who have contributed not only tonight, but throughout the season to raise some $60,000 we have so far, and hopefully another 18 tonight, we will be having a free show tomorrow night at Manley Fieldhouse. We'll feature the majorettes, the color guard, the parade show, and the field shows. And in addition to the free show, we'll be offering for sale this preview booklet, which tells all about the West Genesee Wildcat Band and includes the booklet going to Florida. So we want to thank you again, and we all hope that you all come down to Manley Fieldhouse, 7 p.m. tomorrow.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Again, the number to call is 672-3111. And again, you can mail in your donations to the West Genesee Music Department at the school. I think it's time now that we take a look, another look at their performance at Bills Stadium out in Buffalo at a recent Bills game, or this past fall. Let's take a look at it. Number 672-3111, please call it. There's not much time left, but the phones will be open until 10 o'clock tonight. And right now, let's check out our new tote board figure. A lot of money's come in, $12,800. Not bad for an hour. $18,000, though, is the goal. Again, Jeff and Bruce are back with me. Gentlemen, if you have something to say to wrap things up.
Just so much better than we ever thought we could do financially. Thanks to the community so very much.
And I'd like to make a special thanks to WTVH5 for all their efforts.
We'd like to do it. Again, we thank you for watching. Don't forget the phones are still open. The fishbowl is still open. And if you want to help us out, and I'm sure you do, please do. 672-3111. Good night.
And now, News Center 5 News Break, brought to you by Kupperman and Wood Real Estate.
Hey, Kupperman and Wood, how do you help your customers finance their homes?
We work!
Put the hard-working Kupperman and Wood real estate professionals to work for you.
The president sent no message to Khomeini, period. That was the official White House response today to an Iranian claim that President Carter sent an apology to the Ayatollah Khomeini for past U.S. conduct. The White House did say, however, that the possibility had been explored at one time. Dozens of anti-nuclear protests were held around the nation today. 7,000 protesters showed up at Harrisburg, Pennsylvania to mark the first anniversary of the 3 Mile Island accident. New York is apparently no closer to a new budget.
For most, the story of Mount St. Helens began last Sunday with violent eruptions and tragic devastation. But for one Olympia, Washington family, the story goes back much further than that. It was the beauty of Mount St. Helens that lured the Seibold family to it again and again. But last Sunday, the mountain they loved so much brought death to Barbara Seibold, her husband Ron, and their 2 children, 9-year-old Michelle and 7-year-old Kevin. Barbara's brother Bill told of their love affair with Mount St. Helens.
Well, back in 1976, the Airline Stadium as you see it today, wasn't. There was an old stadium here, and it was raised by the city to build a beautiful new facility. That year, we had to move our field show off to Northeast High School. And the band that won that year, I had the privilege of going to Camillus, New York, to present them with both the field and parade championships that year. I walked on the football field in Camillus, New York, and 10,000 people had gathered to salute the accomplishments of the West Genesee High School. Camillus, New York is a suburb and veteran community for the city of Syracuse. They call themselves the Wildcat Band. Their directors, Mr. Bruce Burke and Mr. Jeffrey Renshaw. Color guard captain is Mary Benedetti. The head majorette is Maureen Normoyle. 34% of the enrollment of this school is in the music program, which speaks very well for the efforts of both Bruce Burke and Jeff Renshaw, their band directors. The symphonic band was invited in 1977 to the Midwest National Band Clinic in Chicago, Illinois, which is an honor sought after by many, many bands in this country. They've won 5 out of the last 6 state championships. They are the current New York State Field Band Conference champions. Ladies and gentlemen, representing the Honorable Hugh Carey, Governor of the great Empire State of New York, and from Camillus, New York, drum majors Gary McAfee and David Michael, and the 200-member West Genesee Senior High School. new uniforms on the Wildcats from West Tennessee High School up in Columbus, New York. Beautiful combination of colors of the whites. Beautiful colors.
It's almost a cinch you won't. If you think you'll lose, you're lost. For out in the world we find success begins with a fellow's will. It's all in the state of mind. If you think you're outclassed, you've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. Life's battle doesn't always go to the swifter or the faster man. But sooner or later, the man who wins, the man who thinks he can.
Hey, Bruce and Jeff and all the kids at West Jenny. It seems strange to be communicating with you via this method since I'm now sitting in your town or very close to it. Of course, this is yesterday to you now. And right now I'm having dinner in San Francisco on my way to Sacramento to see a band for next year, and then down to Fresno, California for a consulting job. But in any event, congratulations to you on your another successful year, and to the kids who were in St. Pete on the first trip, hi from the Sunshine State. And now I'd like to leave you with a very, very serious and moral message that's of deep concern to me. Yupper-do, yup-yup. Yupper-yupper, yupper-do, yup-yup. Yupper, yupper-do. See ya.
This has been the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer. Tomorrow's guest on Face the Nation will be Charles L. Schultz, Chairman, Council of Economic Advisors.
This is an award-winning performance by the West Genesee Wildcat Band, a performance that earned them the championship at the Festival of States in St. Petersburg, Florida. This is Jean Doherty inviting you to join me as we salute that performance Saturday at 7 in Portrait of a Champion. That's Saturday at 7 right here on TV5.
Arco Graphite, the black super oil, challenges Mobil's best oil on gas economy. Fact, Arco Graphite is better, giving you more miles per gallon, saving you more gas money than any leading motor oil. Why? Arco Graphite has two lubricants, premium motor oil plus graphite, that reduce gas robbing friction better than any leading motor oil. So drive further for less gas money with Arco Graphite, the super oil that's fact, not friction.
Do you shampoo 3, 4, or more times a week? Frequent shampooing can wash the life out of your hair. For healthy-looking hair, you need new HealthWorks shampoo and conditioner. HealthWorks shampoo deep cleans without drying, leaving your hair looking healthy and glowingly alive. HealthWorks conditioner builds in body and leaves your hair feeling silky and easy to manage. So don't let frequent shampooing wash the life out of your hair. Use HealthWorks for healthy-looking hair. Believe me, health works.
I believe in horseshoe ringers, puppy dogs, and licking fingers. I believe in Weilers. I believe in a taste that's fine that I can buy for just a dime. I believe in Weilers.
You can believe in Weiler's unsweetened soft drink mixes. At only 10 cents a pack, they cost about a third less than the leading brand.
I believe in being first, especially when it comes to thirst. I believe in Weilers.
The program normally seen at this time period will not be seen so that we may present the following special program.
It's called a retreat ceremony. It features thousands of young musicians from all over the United States. They've just competed in the field competition of the Festival of States at St. Petersburg, Florida. Everyone is a winner. Each band won a state championship and the honor to compete in Florida. Governor Hugh Carey and the Empire State of New York are represented by the Wildcat Band of West Genesee High School. Tonight, we salute their performance in the Portrait of a Champion. Brought to you by Chevy City 5, Brzee Chevrolet, Dave Ball Chevrolet, East Syracuse Chevrolet, Sam Dell Chevrolet, and Stephen Chevrolet. We've got it all.
Get in on the move, Syracuse, with the Chevy City 5. Together for your Syracuse Chevrolet dealers to give you #1 choice and #1 economy on America's #1 selling automobile. Chevrolet. Everyone's moving to Chevy City, switching to economy, looking for drive, demanding style and choice. And Chevy City 5's got it all. Join the people who make it happen. Your Chevy City 5. Brzee Chevrolet, East Syracuse Chevrolet, Sam Dell Chevrolet, Stephen Chevrolet, and Dave Ball Chevrolet. Join the move to Chevy City 5 and America's #1 automobile. For economy and drive, we've got it all. See your Chevy City 5 today.
I'm Jean Doherty, and along with Bruce Burritt and Jeff Renshaw, the band directors of the Championship Wildcat Band of West Genesee High School, we are going to relive that moment of truth in a stadium in St. Petersburg, Florida. Are you ready to do that?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Then
Absolutely.
let's do it.
The first place and Max Festival of States National Field Show Champion for 1980 with a score of 90.09 are the representatives of the Empire State.
Bruce Burritt, how did you feel at that moment?
Well, I think really a tremendous relief. We had attracted so much attention in Central New York. We had brought so many people with us, and so many of them were looking forward to a very happy and successful experience in St. Petersburg. And with that kind of expectation on you as a instructor and one of the directors, you feel a great deal of pressure. And it was a tremendous relief that we were able to make a lot of people happy. Let's put it that way.
We were feeling that pressure back here, too, waiting for that the new Center 5 to tell us what happened, and it was a great time for all of us. For you, Bruce, it's the second time around. That isn't a very usual thing.
No, it's not.
In 76 and again this year.
Right.
We're very lucky, Bruce, because we can even turn back the clock and take a look at the 1976 champions.
Right. Well, it was unique in a way. In 76, I knew beforehand that we had won. I got the word, but not this time. I had no idea beforehand whether we had won or whatever. But I was terribly proud of what the kids had done in the show. I don't think that I could have ever been any happier with the total result of what they performed that evening in St. Petersburg. It was an excellent program, and whether we had won or lost, I couldn't have asked for any more from the kids. Totally different bunch of kids in 1980 than there was in 76, but still the same commitment, the same desire to excel. I don't think that has ever changed in youth, frankly.
Jeff, this was your first time with the champion. What were your reactions?
Numb. I was numb. In fact, my hands are sweaty now, just reliving it again. It was a combination of relief and disbelief, just completely satisfied that it was finally over and that we had achieved the goal that we had set for ourselves. Another moment that I would like to relive, you did it in person, but we're lucky enough to be able to do it thanks to videotape. In the Olympics, I know a champion takes a lap.
Victory lap.
A victory lap. And the Wildcats got to do that.
Yes.
And we're lucky enough to be able to share it.
seeing the reason why tomorrow is West Genesee Wildcat Day in Onondaga County. We'll hear more of that when the Portrait of a Champion continues.
Trucks, trucks, trucks. East Syracuse Chevrolet has the biggest selection in town. Whether you're looking for a sporty blazer, a versatile van, or a rugged pickup, we have what you want. For family or business use, there's a truck for you at Central New York's truck headquarters, East Syracuse Chevrolet. Right now, we can offer you huge savings on any truck in stock. When you're thinking trucks, think East Syracuse Chevrolet.
Since 1970, we have sold over 25,000 cars and trucks. And as GM and I can prove, we take less profit than other dealers because we want your business. Now, I know you want more than low prices. You want same-day service, courtesy and cleanliness. Fix it right the first time. And the satisfaction of making the right choice.
Oh, look, there's Dave Falk. We hear you sell for less profit.
You may think it's the price. I know it's the value.
What we better do now is analyze the things that we're going to see. We're going to see the actual national championship performance of the field show. And I've had a chance to look at it, Bruce, and it seems to break down into about 4 parts.
We have, our planning usually comes up with 4 modules that we use. We call them modules. And there is hopefully a change of pace, change of style, contrasts from one module to another. So you show different aspects of the overall band's wide range of abilities and competencies, hopefully. And the first number is usually an attempt to display the band's overall ability and talent in a very emotional and driving kind of music. And the first piece we play is called Symphonic Dance Number 3. It's a traditional indoor concert band piece of literature written by Clifton Williams, and we adapted it through Nick Barada's talents to outdoor work. And it's the second season we've played it. We made some adjustments from the first season to the second season to make it more effective, we felt, changed the fanfare on the beginning of the piece, and to show off our brass section to the best of our ability. And we're quite happy with the results that we've achieved with it.
Well, we're quite happy too, and you will be, because we're going to watch it now. You said it was an exciting opener, and it was. The thing that's always impressed me about your band is how well they play. It's almost like going to a concert. That's part of it, too, isn't it, Jeff?
Oh, definitely. And the concert portion of the field show, the second module, is designed just for that, to give us the opportunity to show how well we can play without the complications of moving around. Very difficult music.
What did you choose for your second module?
Our second module is a Chuck Mangione tune called Fire Watchers, which was arranged by Nick Barata.
Well, let's share Fire Watchers. You said it showcased the band, and it did, but it showcased the majorettes, too.
Yeah.
That must be a tremendous pressure for them. You know, one drop baton and you've ruined the illusion, and they were tremendous.
Well, most band directors or adjudicators are terribly annoyed by any kind of a drop of a baton on the ground, and our kids were very proud of the fact that during that entire concert number, which showcases them and features them in terms of our front groups, we didn't have one single drop, and they were quite proud of that, needless to say. Very pleased indeed.
I know that the judges had to agree with you, since you are number one, and I'm going to ask both of you to give me a judge's eye view, an impartial judge's eye view, if you can do that, of the West Genesee Wildcats.
Won't be impartial.
Well, I couldn't really expect it to, but if you can see it as the judges saw you, because we'll be right back after these messages.
Syracuse is talking, the whole town's talking about Brazil, Chevy, Town, USA.
They're talking about economy and they're talking about saving money. And we can save you hundreds with our economical, fuel-efficient Chevettes, Monzas, and Citations. And don't forget about our inflation-fighting coupon book. It's free with every new car and truck purchase.
Syracuse is talking, the whole town's talking about Brazil, Chevy, Town, USA. Syracuse is talking, the whole town's talking about Brazil.
Join the Chevy City 5 together to give you #1 choice and #1 economy on America's #1 car, Chevrolet. Join the move to economy and the drive for choice. For economy and drive, see your Chevy City 5 today. Brazil Chevrolet, East Syracuse Chevrolet, Sam Dell Chevrolet, Stephen Chevrolet, Dave Ball Chevrolet, Chevy City 5.
We're watching the prize-winning performance of the Wildcat Band at the Festival of States in St. Petersburg, Florida. We have seen 2 of the 4 required modules so far. The opener, smashing opener, the concert, and where do we go now?
Called production number. And the production number is an attempt on our part, if it's successful anyways, to show a major presentation of different aspects of the band's abilities and outstanding talents. It really tries to get very involved and come up with a big climax at the very end of it, if it's possible to do that. But I think we did.
Well, you were obviously successful, as we are going to see right now.
Okay. The first thing that I wanted to mention is that we have a difference in style of music again. The first number was a traditional band piece. The second number was more of a jazz rock popular tune by Chuck Mangione called Fire Watchers. This is a traditional orchestral piece of literature called Carmina Burana, orchestral choral piece of literature, excuse me, and it's written by Carl Orff and transcribed for outdoor by Gary Megan. And what we have tried to do here is to begin with a very large brass sound that is very impressive, and then at that particular point to begin to evolve into a backfield set. We are looking at three different kinds of adjudication in this particular situation. You're going to get general effect judges who are looking at this from an emotional, subjective point of view. They are trying to determine how much the piece grabs them, how much it excites them, how much it impresses them, makes them feel up or down, maybe excited, very melancholy, whatever. And they're trying to do those kinds of things. Then you've got a second level of adjudicators, which are very analytical. One of them is called a drill analysis judge, another one is called a music analysis judge. And their task is to listen to what is going on and to determine how well we wrote our book, whether it's the drill book, the field patterns, or the music book for the kids. How effectively we did things, how did we make thick patterns on the field when we had thick music textures? Did we have open patterns when we had open music textures? Things like that. And the third responsibility of a judge, or the third level of judging, is strictly objective. Either he makes a mistake or he doesn't make a mistake, black or white. Is a kid out of line? Is he in line? Does a kid chip a note, crack it, or does he play it perfectly? One or the other, whichever the case might be. Now this number, as you can see as it went on, displayed not only just the band proper, but we had a lot of exceptionally qualified color guard work going on, and also an outstanding drum solo.
So that really, while it's a whole group performing, each individual is being judged too.
Oh, very definitely. Yeah, I guess probably the best way to say it to you, so many people have said to us, you cannot see everything that goes on in that program first viewing. You've got to see it over and over and over again to appreciate everything that's going on simultaneously. Hence, you have 12 judges looking at this program, all from different perspectives, simply because they can't see everything from one point of view.
It's more than a three-ring circus. It's
about a 12.
12, yeah. And very impressive. Now, I know that our young people didn't work all the time, that they had a great deal of fun, too, and that they were really ambassadors for the whole state of New York, and our photographer, Mike North, was able to follow them in some of that.
Mm-hmm.
They played a concert in the park, a thank you to the people of St. Petersburg, and they delivered special greetings from the great state of New York as they passed out apples. They were special ambassadors, too, from this central New York region. Then later, in the hotel, they had something very special, a toga party. And in this, they joined bands from other places. You know, one of the great experiences for the students from West Genesee was meeting people from all over the country and making friendships that would last a lifetime. They really had earned the right to this fun. I'm sure that in this moment of their clowning around, they'd forgotten all the work that had gone into the trip. Parents, other students, and the entire community had really worked at chicken barbecues, selling grapefruit, at all kinds of activities to raise $80,000. Here at WTVH, we held a mini telethon for them. What impressed me the night of that telethon was that other bands in the area helped. They called in pledges from North Syracuse, Cicero, East Syracuse, Manoa, Baldwinsville, and so many others, all of them saluting the Wildcats for carrying New York State's banner to Florida. Yes, they'd earned the right to this fun, and they carried that enthusiasm into competition, as we're going to see when we return to Portrait of a Champion.
Air conditioning $1? Yes, during Dollar Days at Sam Dell Chevrolet. The options you want, $1 each. Air conditioning $1, tinted glass $1, power steering $1, AM/FM stereos $1. Lots of small cars, lots of family cars, lots of trucks with $500 rebates. Selection never bigger, savings never better, options never cheaper. You'll never know what the lowest price and the most options are unless you see Sam Dell Chevrolet, Route 5, Fayetteville. Options for $1. You've never seen anything like it. The Chevys for the 80s, Citation, Chevette, and Monza. You'll pay less for them at Stephen Chevrolet. That's right, Stephen Chevrolet in Marcellus. They have over 50 brand new 1980 Citation, Chevettes, and Monzas in stock, ready for immediate delivery. At Stephen Chevrolet, they know how you like to do business. You'll get honest figures, fair prices, and no hassles. Make them prove what they say. Bring your best deal to Stephen Chevrolet and we'll beat it. Stephen Chevrolet in Marcellus.
We're saluting the West Genesee Wildcats, and we've been concentrating on their field show competition at the Festival of States, but we want to remember that they were the only band to win trophies in all three categories, in field competition, in parade, and in concert. And when they marched down the streets of St. Petersburg, 250,000 cheered them.
Don't say a word. Let's go, guys! Press, press!
Was reason to cheer, and there's lots of reason to cheer tomorrow because it's West Genesee Wildcat Day in Onondaga County. And what's that mean?
We want to invite the public to a free presentation of the National Championship Field Show. The band will perform it at the West Genesee High School Athletic Field at 2:30 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, and we will be presented at that time with a National Championship Field Trophy by the Executive Director of the St. Petersburg Festival of States, Mr. Herb Melanie, and we hope a lot of people will attend and enjoy themselves.
That's the band's way of saying thank you. And it's a wonderful feeling to be able to say, we're number one. I know that the fourth module you had was an exit, but it ended with a rainbow of balloons, and I want to say that you have given that rainbow to all of Central New York for a very long time. Thank you.
Thank you, Gene.
Thank you.
And from R.E. Dietz Company, a manufacturer of lighting and mirrors for the automotive, heavy-duty, and construction industry since 1840. Young Mr. Lincoln, Drums Along the Mohawk, The Story of Alexander Graham Bell, Chad Hanna, The Oxbow Incident, My Darling Clementine, and The Grapes of Wrath. Tune in Friday to A Tribute to Fonda on WCNY TV. Warm up with outstanding drama, music, and performance specials on WCNY's Icebreaker.